What is good, YouTube? It's your boys back again from Unapologetically Men. I am your host. You know who it is, Max, aka Maximilian. And I got my co-host with me tonight.
Lando's back at it.
Back in the building, sir. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm feeling a little under the weather, but we're gonna make it through this show today. Shit, man, my throat is kind of parched and shit. Well, I know you getting snow up there, ain't you?
Man, it's white out there. That's all I got to say.
Man, we supposed to get some of that shit tonight, man. It's probably like 2 o'clock, something like that. We supposed to get.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
really bad out there. I don't know if I'll be able to go anywhere tomorrow either, but
yeah.
I'm gonna have to see because
Right.
I'm a busy man. I gotta keep it moving.
Yeah, I feel you. And they'll shit, they'll you don't have to work then. If it snowed in, shit, they let
Oh
you
yeah,
get you to stay at home chilling.
yeah. I wouldn't mind doing that. Having a
Yeah.
having a holiday.
That's right. That's right.
I'll be up in here staying warm with a Corona in the middle of winter.
Man, I tell you, same here, dude. But I feel you. Want to welcome the listeners tonight. This one's properly titled "Stay in Your Lane" because we're talking about the lane men get taught and the lane women get taught, and it kind of shapes our whole idea half the time. But and that lane we're speaking of is men are taught to restrain themselves, taught to, just be restraintful in everything in every aspect of life. There are proper channels that we need to exercise, and then there are proper times where you just want to go unleash that brain of yours and innovate and create and just get out there and do things like that. And then we're taught. Then you see the women they taught to challenge us men. So that's how they get raised, to defy men and say they're strong and all this and that. What do you think about these two different lanes, Mr. Lando? How you feel about that?
Yeah, I kind of want to add to a little bit too.
Hmm.
And it's like uh our lane we're also like taught to um be self-disposable
Hmm.
while women are taught to be self-preservatory. I don't know if that's even a word. I just made that up.
I get if it ain't a word, it should be a fucking word because I get what you exactly
You
what you're
know,
saying.
self-preservation. I mean, it is
Yeah.
like women are taught that everything is about them.
Hmm.
Their perspective, how they feel, is what matters to most. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Right.
And men are taught to just sacrifice. Like, you ain't a real man unless you do X, Y, and Z. And your own self worth and confidence comes second.
Uh huh. Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's just to add to that, and it goes along with the restraint thing too. Like as men, we have these urges. Sometimes it's to do great positive stuff, and sometimes it's to do negative stuff.
Right. And we
All
have
that
to
stuff we
channel
have
that.
to keep it. Yeah, we got to challenge it, and sometimes keep it bottled up.
Hmm.
Whereas women are encouraged to express every aspect of their emotion.
Right. Right. And there's a certain. I feel like the demonization of men being able to challenge or channel those things in a
Hmm.
positive light, um, they just get demonized for that aspect of it. We are human. We're you got human. Males are human and females are human. So in that aspect, we don't get treated like we're humans, though. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
in the case of you find an emotional man, for example, you get talked down to for showing your emotion to, especially to another female. They're gonna treat you like shit. You do that, you open up to them, they treat you like shit like that. So, um, how do you feel about basically demonizing of the emotional aspect that a man brings? Because he can bring the power when we're in a position of dominance. Say we're on the battlefield, right? And we're yelling at the top of our lungs to charge at the enemy. That's still emotion. Like
Yeah.
it's pure emotion.
Well, the thing is, it's like um, to hamper anything that a man can bring to the table that's for the betterment of society
Hmm.
is counterproductive.
Hmm.
Like say if you have, let's say, a young boy, he has all these dreams and aspirations. Excuse me, I'm not talking about like overly lofty ones where it's just straight up, oh, I want to be an astronaut. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing overreaching, but realistic dreams where a child be like, you know what, I want to be a doctor. And
Hmm.
then you have some grown up that totally shoots that down.
Right.
You know, that happens oftentimes in young men's lives where
Right.
they have these obtainable dreams and they just get shot down. I mean, that kind of cuts against the young man's confidence, number one.
Hmm.
Number two, it diminishes what value he can bring, not just to his immediate network, meaning family relationships, whatever, but also,
Hmm.
you know, society in general. You know,
Yeah. And that
I mean,
brings me
because
to
and with that being said, if you can look throughout history,
yeah.
can you name any women that made large contributions to the progressiveness of society
Mm.
in any way?
Not that I can think of, man. But
I
that
mean,
that
you ask that to most people, the
mhm.
first thing they'll bring up is the somebody from the feminist movement. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, oh well, Margaret, or I don't want to say Margaret Sanger. She you know was doing that eugenics thing, so she don't count.
Mhm.
um, no, I can't remember that man. I'm having a brain fart. Hold on,
I
I'm
see.
gonna say.
Why are you looking that up? I gotta I it's something you touched on that just made me think of how in back in the day, they used to when they start pushing that agenda and saying how little girls don't get taught that they can be um astronauts or whatever, and how they get shot down.
Mhm,
That used to be the running thing, that society is shooting little girls down on
mhm,
being astronauts and being this and that. And when you look at it from a life where you've lived, you understand
mhm,
that girls just are not attracted to those roles as
mhm.
much as men are.
Mhm.
That
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
how I see it. But at the same time, they were doing that to make us feel like we're doing something to women or to little girls. But the truth of the matter is, they're just really not attracted to all that stuff.
I think what it is like a covert sense of competition.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's almost like, think about, like, say you playing a game with a group of kids, right?
Hmm.
And then everyone's picking up on the fact that you're probably better than everyone else in the game by far.
Yeah.
So they start making up rules to hinder your participation,
That's ain't
just
that
so they
fucking
can
true.
compete.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like, oh no, 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 you can't do that. And
Right.
then they
Start
make
making
up
up
some
shit.
stupid lie, and,
Yeah.
and they make up the lie because they also understand that you're not clever enough to pick up on the lies.
Mm,
You
I
get what I'm
feel you.
saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
So that's kind of what happens when it comes to um, young men that have the ability to excel in
Yeah.
an environment where, you know, certain people don't want them to excel.
Yeah. Now, now I want to touch on the women being taught, little girls being taught to challenge us.
Mm-hmm.
And when that shit goes wrong.
Oh.
No, I don't know if you noticed that. Let's speak on the Facebook video of the older white gentleman, and there he's like being surrounded by like 10 cackling little teenage girls. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw the video, but this little girl, I wouldn't say by little girl, I mean she looked about 12 to 15, something like that. I can't remember what the actual age of she, what she was. But here is a grown ass man, and she's like pumping up her fist up and down like she's about to do something to him. And he just lays one across her cheek, knocks her out cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, yep, that's
But
one of those moments.
you talking about the opening scene to what's that movie?
Punisher.
No, no, I was thinking about Boondock Saints.
Uh,
I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
yeah. I seen that movie. It's been a minute though, you know.
That's what that sounded like based on what you was
Yeah,
describing.
it's
You
like
got
she's
a big burly woman acting like, she's just better than all men and all this
yeah,
other stuff, and then she socks the dude in the face, and he didn't hold back.
right.
He beat the
Exactly.
brakes off that big bitch.
Right. This is like I'm saying, and then I saw another video where this dude he look a good I don't know, he look a good 250, between 250 and 280. And here's this little bitch ass chick with fucking blonde hair, weave all over the place, yelling and pumping her fist, clapping her hands, and then she slaps him a couple times, and he's like tries to walk away. Two or three times he tries to walk away. And then
Hmm.
finally she got back up in his face one last time and he just picked her ass up and folded her. I was like
Oh yeah, I remember that video.
I was like
I
and
was
then
like, oh man,
it's like, man, when y'all gonna stop? Man, when y'all gonna stop and learn? Stop trying to challenge these men out here, man. It's just like you're not gonna fucking win. You can't kick a
you know,
man's ass. Stop that shit. The only reason why
yeah,
you fucking living or don't get beat up is because he got a code and he's giving you so many
he's got a
opportunities
code,
to.
or either he's afraid of the law.
Yeah, that too. It's both. You know what I'm saying? It's like he got an opportunity here to just let it go. But these bitches, they think they can fight. Like they literally think they can fight men. Watching too many fucking movies, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, yeah. I was telling somebody I'm sick and tired of seeing these movies where you got a chick that's a whole 115 pounds soaking wet,
Hmm.
beating the brakes off of like 10 men in a bar
Yeah.
by herself.
That shit does not happen in real life.
No, it
Stop.
doesn't.
You know.
I realized something too, that in these shows, a lot of these women literally are that petite. They're literally, around
Yeah.
120 pounds or less. And the way the camera films them,
They look
they're
swole.
a little bit taller. You know
Yeah.
what I
True. True.
mean? So it's like if you was to go behind the scene or get on a set and realize how small these chicks are, and they just folding these dudes on camera, it's like, damn, they just
Yeah.
lying.
They ain't just folding dudes. Like they knocking motherfuckers out. Like
Yeah,
these little bitty ass chicks. I'm like, at least, I mean, if you gonna get a swole bitch to do it, at least make it believable.
yeah. I mean,
You
these
know,
chicks
get some.
look like 10-year-old girls from the 1980s. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you.
Just nothing to them.
Right. So we got a two part show for here. We'll move into the next segment talking about what drives men. And Miss Lana, you want to lead that off for us? Let them know what we're talking about on this.
Yeah, when it comes to what drives men,
Hmm.
uh, I'll say this: like, oftentimes you hear, in the manosphere that women like to try to wield masculinity, even though they
Right.
claim they hate it, or
Right.
or just possess the male ingenuity by
Mm.
proxy, you know,
Hmm.
and our utility. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And the thing about our utility is what actually drives us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just the sense that we can accomplish great things and sit back and marvel at it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But what gives us more enjoyment out of it is seeing our accomplishments uh, cause people to thrive and flourish, and people benefit from what we do because um, real accomplishment,
Hmm.
is what is confirmed by the people around you. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
It's one thing to be like, wow, I made something great, but if other people believe it's great too, now you did something.
Right.
Now,
And
the
so,
other side of that thing
mm,
is when what we don't like as far as our utility is when women try to exploit it.
right.
And when they exploit it, they try to judge our accomplishments uh, based on how it relates to them, and they will shame us if we don't, you
Stack
know,
up to it.
right. And
Yeah.
it's like it's not for them to judge.
No. And they use the only fucking weapon they got, and that's pussy.
Yeah, and that's diminishing in value like every second.
the pussy stock has plummeted. I'm saying.
It's like this. You know how they say? I don't know if you ever heard the saying before. Um, uh, a man. I'm gonna have to paraphrase it, but
Yeah.
men generally are trying to find pussy once they come out of one.
Hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Hmm.
They spend 9 months in the womb, and they
Yeah.
spend the rest of their life trying to get back in. That sort of thing.
Yeah. That's
Well,
exactly that's exactly what
it's
happens
not
until you
so
at
much.
least until we get to like fucking 35 or some shit like that. And
Right,
then
right.
and
I
then they
mean, now these days, it's not so much the case because trying to go back there is the
Mhm.
plantation.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
And well, here's the other thing I'm seeing, dude, too. It's like they are switching, and this kind of can go back to whole changing the lane type deal. I'm seeing increasingly more and more females, bitches just getting more masculine, and men are getting more feminine. Are you seeing that? Like
Oh
with
yeah.
the whole soy boy shit, the cucking
Mhm.
and shit, all that shit. It's like the men they are socializing men to be soft. It's like, but here's the thing: we've already discussed this before in previous casts that women are telling you one thing, but they're not attracted to what they're telling you.
Oh no. You can't you can't ever only time you listen to a woman believes I mean,
Mhm,
I'm sorry. Only time you can listen to what a woman says and believe what she's saying is the
mhm.
truth is when she's trying to hurt you.
Right.
Everything outside of that, it's all lies.
How you tell a woman's telling the truth when she ain't talking. That's how you know she telling the truth.
Oh yeah. You look at her. How's your day going? She don't say nothing. Yep.
Yep.
Exactly what's going on. Hey, I get you. Nothing's happening in your life. Yep.
Right. Just Drake terrible, man, terrible. But shit, man, it's just I'm just seeing it just like that, man. It's just so many. Like you can't tell like who can have your back out there anymore, because there's so many dudes that are just soft around the edges, man. It's like, come on, man. Like if I get into a situation
Uh-huh.
where like I want to, let's say hypothetically speaking, we have a heroic situation that occurs.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna look around me, see who the man that's gonna step up with me to help whatever the situation is, because what I'm saying, we still be doing heroic shit to begin with, but
Oh,
I mean it's kind of like ingrained in it's in our DNA. But like, how are you supposed to help me be heroic when your ass is thinner than a rail and wearing your woman's clothes? Like that don't make no fucking sense.
man. I've often had the daydream. Um, like you ever seen this movie? I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'm just having brain farts all over the place today.
Hmm.
But basically, I think it's called Red Dawn.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
that.
it's about you know, the Vietnamese
Hmm.
or somebody
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
shutting down the early warning system to the United States so they
Hmm.
can actually physically invade.
Yeah.
So what I was gonna say is imagine you just at work and then all of a sudden there are all these planes is overhead and
Hmm.
there's troops from other countries just dropping in, killing motherfuckers, right?
Hmm.
So you look around the office and you looking at everybody up in there and you telling yourself, I'm the only person up in here that's got the balls to take a life if need be.
Right. Like all you
You
motherfuckers is
know,
just gonna be like, ah.
I'm the only one up in here that's got the wherewithal to like pick up a weapon and thoroughly defend themselves until the death.
Yep.
Everybody else up in here is going to be ducking under the table
Yep.
along with
Fucking
the women,
right.
you know,
Fucking
or trying to
soy
find
boys and
some
shit.
place to hide.
Yeah.
Because you know these places got that active shooter training. What to do
Right.
in case somebody comes in and starts shooting?
Right.
That's not gonna help nobody.
No. Not no regular civilians.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Shit, man.
So
But
yeah,
I mean, that
it's just a sad thing to just know that we're in a society to where it's like things that's just made so comfortable
hmm
that people have grown soft and the roles have reversed.
right.
Like the
It's getting
women
that
have
way.
become men
hmm
and the men have become women, and neither one of them are equipped to be each other.
Right,
You know?
right. And and it's the constant thing being you know put into the socialization of everything. Like it's you see it more and more on TV. You know,
Yeah, and the mental illness is just so bad that it's encouraged. You
right.
know, and it's really subtle. It's getting to the point to where it's just slowly programming people. Like I was watching The Arrow the other day,
hmm
and you know how they took Mr. Terrific and just made him into this gay guy who can't fight,
hmm
which is so not the version of the comic book character.
Mm.
But anyway, um, you got the character Wild Dog talking about, hey, we got to put the team back together and we got to have him here because we need a man behind the computer. And then Mr. Terrific corrects him and says, a person behind the computer. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell, man? It's like Wild Dog is the only one with
Like,
real balls. You know what I mean?
right.
Only one in the show with real balls. He's just jumping shit and get it done. He sees what's going on wrong. He wants to
Yeah.
do it. And then you got this dude trying to make sure he uses the right pronouns for
Right.
every
It's
word.
like, shut your dumb ass up, man. That's just. mm, men we need to unleash the restraints from our minds, and by that I mean look at your vision, what you see for yourself in your life, and go for that vision, because we don't get our happiness from females. We get our happiness from, as you said, Mr. Lando, producing shit. So produce, be productive, but don't be productive for the sake of fucking pussy.
Oh yeah, you know why? Because that's the best way to like kill your ego. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I'm not talking about ego as far as being big headed. I'm talking about just how you look at yourself.
yeah.
Because if you measure your accomplishment by the pleasure of a woman, it's never going to be enough.
No,
There's always going to
never.
be some aspect that she's not satisfied, and you're
Yep.
just going to burn yourself out.
Man, dude, that's kind of like what happens to a lot of good men.
Hmm.
They sit there and expend themselves trying to make these women happen, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work like that because she's not built that way. You understand? Like,
Now, women are
uh,
not built to be happy.
no, they're not built that way. They're
They're built to be satisfied.
no,
They're just
never.
built to be enthralled for a period of time. That's
Right,
it.
right. And it
And
and it keeps
it's
going.
all
It,
emotion.
it keeps going that way, and that's the way it's gonna. So.
Yeah,
Uh,
and this is this is my toxic masculine reasoning behind why emotion is insufficient when it
hmm
comes to being content.
Right.
When I was a child, I used to
hmm
think to myself, Captain Crunch's video games is all I need in life to be happy,
hmm
right?
Yeah.
But as a man, I'm thinking to myself, I don't care how good the video game is or what score is getting in Game Informer magazine.
Right.
I'm going to be bored with that thing and I need something else to do. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like thinking on that now. I never thought I would ever feel that way. I have friends that feel like that that are in my similar fields, and they have told me they have retired from gaming, and I'm like, gasp.
Right. It's like, how dare you,
Retired,
blasphemy.
and I asked them their reason. They're like, well, with the advent of the internet and how people are recording video games, there's no point in buying them anymore. Just watch someone else play
But
and
you're
you can
not
score
playing
it.
it yourself, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And the other side of it is they say they also don't have time
Yeah.
to go
That's
to video games the way they
right.
used to because of either parental duties or the number one, dun, 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 the wife wants this and that and the other.
Yep.
You know, can't
Yep.
the wife.
Yep. Absolutely, absolutely.
I've seen men sell their souls for their wives' short-term demands.
Yep. Because at the end of when that's all, when she's done playing with that, like a cat plays with a ball of yarn, it
Mhm.
moves over to the next thing they didn't want to play with.
Yep, she'll sift you like wheat until there's nothing left, and all of a sudden, after all that, she'll say, "You're not the man you used to be."
Yep.
and,
She done slurped your ass like a damn
and
slushy.
when you think about it, isn't that like the biggest con in the world? It's
Man,
like
it's terrible.
you come into the relationship being one way, and she's loving it, and then she slowly picks all the stuff that makes you out of you,
Yep.
and then she complains because you're not the man you used to be.
Right. Oh man,
How
that's
much of
man.
a mind fuck is that?
It's a pin cushion, bro. It's a pin cushion. And on that note, we're gonna wrap this one up. I want to thank everybody for sticking with us, listening. Next stream, we're gonna try. I usually set up as a live event, which is what we do right now. But I'm gonna give it a shot on the live streaming. There's another option for live streaming, and we're gonna try that route. And so we'll be maybe have a little more technical difficulties next time around, but hope we'll cross our fingers and dot the i's and see if we can get through that show just fine. But just want to give you a heads up. Thank you for checking us out again. This is your boys from Unapologetically Men. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and drop some comments if you like the video or the podcast, should I say. It's your boy Max, aka Maximilian, and my co-host.
Lando. We're gonna try and come up with some heavier hearted. I mean, how can I say this? Some better content in the future with the
Yeah,
weather and all the activities that we got going on outside of YouTube. I
right.
mean, of course, y'all know this is not our main thing, but we do this because we love y'all and we're trying to really make an impact.
For sure, for sure.
But yeah, that's all I got to say, and we are out.
Peace.